Yeah. So good question. So both actually. So their goal is, and they have three packages: bronze, silver, and gold. Which I don't. Those names are what they are. But bronze, 5 hours a week. She requires a 6 month commitment for this. Silver or gold, it's month to month. So it's a 30-day out. Okay. And then, she gave us a couple use cases. She supposedly still works for this Verify cybersecurity company. I haven't asked her for any references, but I think that might be a good thing to do, especially since, you're making that type of investment. I do like
Mhm.
the month-to-month concept. But what they do is they actually um, have a process where they fill the funnel, they engage the funnel, and they push the product push the deal over to fulfillment. So my initial vision was, since the current net new dev team, and I'll show you who they are real quick. Did I show you the new team
Yeah.
yet?
Yep. You showed
Okay.
me.
All right. So obviously we have a very specific um, roadmap that they're working on as we speak. And we're pretty excited because one of the things that we're focusing massive amount of time on is the ad server component. So that's really pretty cool. So if she can, if we did bring her in, I still don't think I'm going to bring her in until like March 1st
Hmm.
or March 3rd. So it's kind of starts the month off fresh. And then it gives us more time to uh, tweak some of this other stuff. So my vision was initially we offer her silver half price plus commission. So 2,000 a month, month to month, 30-day out, plus the commission package.
Yep.
We get 10 hours a week. Obviously, we can cancel anytime. That was my initial goal. As far as, what category she goes to, I mean, we've already done a big bulk of the job for her and her team.
Hmm.
And that is going to be, it doesn't matter. I forget where it is right now.
I remember you having that done before. I remember you working on the spreadsheet. And for investors, I was like, add a column for estimated contract value, but that
Yep.
was more an exercise for that piece.
Mhm.
So I do remember that.
Yeah, we have that done. So it was pretty great how we finally finalized it, but we didn't engage it yet.
Hmm.
Here it is. Um, so, we have kind of like premium professional enterprise, and then we have contract value. We didn't do that yet. We have it ready to be able to be coded. Um, that was one phase that we didn't kind of do. We could code it after we call them, or code it based on, how many years are they active. So that was one formula that we didn't create. But as far as the 1,000 festivals with contact information, this could be something that she leverages right out of the gate,
Yeah.
because it's already done, right?
Yeah.
So that would be a positive. And then the next thing that we've created, and I didn't get a chance to talk to you guys about it, but um, we have, and this is something that Rashali has been working on, and there's a very high level, um, and we're all seeing it because we get these inboxes in our systems and our LinkedIn and everything like that. So it's called Apollo. You probably have heard of it already.
Hmm.
Um, so we've created our first, where is it? Sequence. So the first sequence is going to be focused on film festivals with this automated process. And the contacts that we have, as far as the contacts that we would leverage, is going to be film festival based contacts. I forget how to use it right now, but at any rate, um, Vershali is doing this. So this is something that we've already started doing ourselves. And so our goal is to make these sequences from a film festival perspective, an EDU perspective, expansion perspective, and then have these sequences running on a continuous basis. As far as the price points are concerned, the price points are not that significant that it's something that we can't test,
Hmm.
and the way it works is you can actually fill like 100, 19 bucks per month or something like that. We can actually fill a whole category of contacts specifically. We're looking for film festival directors. You have a good filtering system, and then we would, go after those people. As far as the sports people are concerned, we have All Abilities Live, but we have our next sports contract that I think is going to be pretty cool. It's called IYB Athletics. So we're building out a system for them in terms of a site map, including Sembu installation,
Hmm.
which we're pretty excited by. He's a professional. He's going to be a professional user of Sembu. Um, so we could do two sequences, one for film festivals and one maybe for sports, because I think from a sports perspective, I think that use case we have is pretty significant. So here's the kind of like the low fidelity um, um, wireframe,
Hmm.
and here's the Sembu plugin right here.
I see.
Yeah. So we're pretty excited about this one here because this guy right here bought a sports facility. So he's actually building out an actual sports facility with camps, and there seems like there's a major investment in the infrastructure of this complex.
Hmm.
So we have, again, sports and film festivals. And like I said, we could do the two sequences on Apollo internally
Yeah.
and also maybe see what she's doing.
I like the way you're thinking about the markets at least, because we all agree there's large contract value in universities, but the barriers and the cycles is just too long, and it's a lot of political work where the issue we talked about, not the issue, but the concern Chuck brought up at the meeting with the video filming piece of it with sports and film festivals, that's a barrier removed because
Mhm.
most of the time they have some sort of function already set up. And I'm not against how to guides or webinars, I'm not at all.
Yeah,
But I do think from a scaling perspective, I like the way you're thinking.
yeah. Um, yeah, we just don't have the budget for 4,000 for, well, thank you for that. We just don't have the budget. Because if she's as good as she is, then she's gonna make more just off the commission side.
Yeah. My only thought when you structure that, however you'd like to do that, is just when you build out the commission, don't make sure you're still making margin. However you want to calculate that, but make sure
Yeah,
you're still
I mean,
making.
I already have, and because we just don't have the budget to reallocate the contract. So Ambria already created a contract that is, I believe, something that looks very reasonable. And I'll show you what the commission structure looks like real quick. Um,
But you probably already thought about that if it's the same one that you had for your other sales guy. You had a sales guy at some point, right? Different guy.
we have one person who I did my first, I got him. Let me show you two things. I know we only have 7 minutes, but um, because every time I'm trying to find something fast, it's never readily available. Give me 1 second. Bum, 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 bum. That's crazy. Where could that be? Boom, 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 boom. Oh, here it is. Um, okay. So I'll share my screen real quick. So the whole goal would be, um, do you see my screen right here, sales agreement?
Yep.
All right. So it would work like this. So premium, if they only do a monthly subscription, they just get the first month. If they sell an annual subscription, they get 25% of the first 12 months. Professional, same concept. And then custom, they get 12% of the first 12 months. So if they close any of this, like for example, 25% of 3 grand, you do the math, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, and that's reasonable because most of the accounts that I've sold recently, I've been selling yearly accounts. Like, for example, Tech Bridge gave us $3,000. Uh, Two other clients before that, I got three. I got all the money right up front for the whole year, which has
Mhm.
been one of the things that I'm doing by giving them extra value of prepaying for the whole year. They get kind of extra customer service and extra tutorials and extra hands-on service for that. But this is what I would be giving her because I'm not paying any more legal fees. This is just the current contract.
Yeah.
After 6 months, we can come back to the table. But if she's as good as she says, then once she starts closing these things, it's going to supersede that 4,000, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Like, okay, let's say well, how the 3,000 a year is not even the custom, right? That's
That's the professional.
so
So watch. Yeah. So this real quick is
she needs to sell like three of, because you're already giving 2K.
exactly.
She
So
needs to close like
sell
three of
two.
them.
Two,
Yeah.
three of them, she's making more.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So right here, she sells three of these in a month. She's already surpassed. If she sells four, then she's already ahead.
Right. And as far as margins go, do you know what I know that was financial projection piece that may change over time, but do you know what your margin is on each of these?
See, the margin is easier to calculate here.
Yeah.
So the margin on this is about 70% on
Okay.
premium. 70% margin on premium. Professional, we have a little bit more work to close up
Mm-hmm.
a few of the areas, and I think we found a way to do that, and that's through our service. So I haven't talked to you about this, but um, what Vimeo OTT does, instead of just charging like say 3% like a service fee, like we have been doing. So if Juan, for example, at All Abilities Live, let's say he has 1,000 people that subscribes to a game before, and if he made say $1,000 or whatever, no, he made more. Let's say he made 2,000, 3 grand off of that. If he made 3 grand off of that, then that means we would only have gotten what, 3% of 3 grand, right? So what is that? $30 or something like that times 0.3%. That's $90. My bad. $90. So we would get $90. But out of that $3,000 divided by $15 for the game, that means he would have sold 200 entries. So instead, what we're doing is now we're saying we're going to charge you the 3% plus $1 per subscriber flat fee. So that means we would have ended up getting 290 out of the 3,000 versus just the because we got into a bandwidth issue. So we're
Right.
testing that new pricing model out. And,
Mm-hmm.
and Vimeo OTT seems to have something very similar. They do it one step further where they're charging $1 per month.
Yeah.
Um, we could do it that way, but most of like All Abilities Lives is a one transaction. So
Right.
we're just saying we're going to take $1 from that transaction.
Yeah.
And
That's
then and that is beyond fair, and that covers the bandwidth, and that makes sure that number one, we don't get in a jam with because the concurrent live stream is a factor that we don't have perfectly figured out. We're still studying it.
mhm.
Um, because he had a successful month, a game one day, and we got a bill for $1,000 from AWS, and we still didn't charge him back for it because he's still in this failing software environment, and we're not ready to charge him yet because he's the one that's pressure testing it. And
Yeah.
if we charge him now, and so we're not there yet, but we're close.
No, I honestly, Hayden, I think that as long as you still have margin on each of your products with the structure that you set up, I think it's an attractive structure for her. And although it might be it's a very sweet deal, to be honest with you. It is a
I mean,
very sweet deal.
I mean, do you think, since I think 2,000, should I say 1,000 plus commission for that premium and then just have the extra 1,000 to bump up? Because it can't
Yeah.
go anywhere from go low for right now, 1,000 plus the commission. If she signs on it, if she goes three, then we meet in the middle at two where I wanted to be anyway.
Because honestly, if she has to at the 2,000, she has to close three to reach her. Now she has to close six, which is better for you but also that's not a lot to ask. I
Exactly.
don't think it's not that much to ask to close six deals
If
a
you have
month.
40 hours per week and that's all you're doing, and we're giving you we're giving you a whole funnel already. We got 1,000 leads we're giving you.
Right. I think, and then, and this, the margin thing is important, but it also looks really good in the seed round. If she's able to do six a month for the next 3, 4 months, that's good. That looks
Yeah,
real.
exactly. Exactly.
I think that's fair. 1,000 plus because the structure you have set up is attractive. It's not
Yep.
like, yeah, I think, I think it's an attractive
And
setup.
that contract, the way it works is that the contract is for 6 months only. And
Hmm.
then we can revisit and renegotiate 6 months later. Because if she knocks it out of the park, we're not that's paid that commission structure would change. Then we might say, okay, based on what we see, here's your base, here's your commission. This seems more in line
Yeah.
because we just don't have enough data for a real pro salesperson yet.
Yeah.
But
And I
this,
think investors, that sounds good to a fractional CRO. That's a good understanding they're not full time, but they are driving
and
value.
then we also have a clause in there. I forget what page it's on. We will consider if they knock it out of the park. There might be equity in Sembu there, and then there's other opportunities to have a conversation.
Mhm. Okay, I
Yep.
like it. I think this is a good
So a
strategic.
thousand plus commission for this for the middle one. I think that makes more sense
Yeah,
than, just dropping right away and saying, here's 2 grand. And
yeah,
hopefully, she also sees the value that there is a support team, meaning opaque. I mean, this is not, she's not going to be and I know she comes with a set of skills, but I think there's a great team around this whole process,
yeah.
where I think it benefits all of us to have. And then it gives us an opportunity to do some POC sales, why I can complete the MVP. Once the MVP is done, then I'm ready to go out really to do bigger presentations, very similar to the one I did over at, Alvernia over at the Plex
Hmm.
place. Start doing those again.
Hmm. No, I think this is a good move. I
And
think it's a
it's
good move.
her contract's month to month. Our contract is 6 months. So
I think if you're gonna go, we'll see how it goes, but the equity piece from an investor standpoint, you want her more involved with the company at that point and
well,
whatever that
it's a
looks
little
like.
carrot though. You know what I mean? It's a
Yeah,
carrot that
yeah,
if she really crushes it, she can then, join the team. Um,
yeah, and do milestone investing. But yeah, I think I got a good feeling from her. She seems very knowledgeable, at least definitely at the stage Sembu's at now to really help that put gasoline on the fire.
exactly. Exactly.
Cool.
Yep. Um, I'm thinking about coming down there tomorrow because Darren and we were at EC today recording, I forget their names. They're the opera singers. And I think they have a meeting with you guys tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I think maybe with the opaque team.
Not with me, they may, but they are incubator tenants now.
Exactly. I heard about that. So I think we're going to meet because they have a video project that, and they came to our event and everything like that. So, meaning the 5.0 event. So they've had exposure to Sembu, and what they do as far as coaching and teaching. Like today, they did a fabulous presentation on like breathing exercises. That's all valuable stuff that can go on a website somewhere.
Yep. Yeah, they're cool people. We're trying to help them kind of harness their value proposition, and who they're targeting in the business community. So yeah,
Yeah.
they might be good use cases for the lowest package of Sembu.
Yeah, exactly. The VOD package. Plus, I think they would also help us with some of the theater-based companies because of their background. If we had the use case with them, the Genesius thing could then open up. Who knows? But someone like Genesius would get it if they saw someone with them because they probably would be going more in the training aspect of the opera stuff and breathing and acting and performing. So then that gives us a really good kind of like theater piece, a performance piece, a sports piece, a festival piece. We have the speaker piece. Um, yeah, so right here, real quick. So after the initial 6 months, the company will review sales data and the representative's performance. Based on this review, the company may propose a new commission package, the revised commission. The revised commission may include a potential equity grant to the representative with a vesting schedule proposed by the company, an
Yeah.
updated or revised commission schedule, or both the equity grant and an updated commission schedule. The
Yep. And
representative has 60 days after the initial term to agree to the revised commission. So
that's perfect.
we have a really good structure in there. So if she knocks this out of the park and she's as good as she says she is, it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
No
And then
one, no one
moving to
loses.
the next level of saying, hey, this amount of equity triggers when you hit these goals. It goes up when you hit these goals, and you have to be with us for at least another 2 years or whatever.
Exactly, exactly. And maybe because of her process, and if it's a good process, she can hire and train her own sales division. And there's a whole category of, whatever,
Yeah.
category or whatever market she wants to
Yeah.
specialize in. It doesn't have to stay film festivals, but because we already have that list, it could just be the sandbox of her testing everything.
Yeah. I think film was good. And even the sports piece, there's so many avid fans of that goes in various different summer camps and youth programs and adult leagues. It's not just EDU sports.
Exactly.
We're professional sports. There's so many
Well,
offshoots
there's
of
a lot of things. I mean, we went. There's people that send their son and daughters to like batting cage camps, right? And so
Mhm.
they have little low level GoPros, but maybe they want something a little bit higher end with a two camera iPhone setup. It doesn't, this could be anything from beginner to professional grade live stream and or VOD.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I think if we can overcome the whole process of, oh my gosh, there's all this work and I don't know, we got these contracts and everything like that. I mean, even, leveraging the whole story from Alberni, I just want to end on this real quick. I was just thinking about this today, actually. Um, this part of the setup, if you look at this, I'm going to share my screen real quick. This is what Alvernia has. Let's just call this EDU test unit. So this is what they have, and they're hung up because this contract is active. Well, this contract that's active that it's pushing to this here can be interchanged with like 20 companies. The Mac 10 conference it doesn't matter who's pushing the content. Sembu could push it, or Sidearm could push it, or Vimeo OTT could push it. The contract that the university has with Mac has nothing to do with this piece of technology. That's what I was trying to get at, but I never could tell that story correctly. However, even if this contract is still running up here, this one, you can still open up the whole university, build out all these systems, and then when that contract runs out, then you bring it down. I'm talking about any university, right? If they have that
Mhm.
same objection and argument, but they don't realize that this piece of technology, third party, can be interchanged by any third party that's just pushing over the feed, which
Yeah.
pushes over the feed. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of people in the EDU, and there's the longer tail, the longer sales cycle, but I think it goes back to what I keep saying. I don't think we did a good job educating. And I think we got to leverage these presentations that we've done across the board for this year, especially. And how do we overcome some of this? And how do
Mhm.
we make some of this more of a layman
Yeah.
approach? And if we can find that out, maybe we can hit some of those hot buttons.
And it's not wasted time. I mean, it's all data you're
Well,
collecting
no, it's data. I
about your
mean,
customers. Yeah.
well, I
So
mean, yeah, let me take that back. I don't think it was a waste of time. I think
it's just
it
frustrating.
was frustrating that we had so many great conversations, but at the end, I think what I learned from that whole process is too many people still didn't understand what the product does. And I
Mhm.
think every time the room leaves, and this goes not for just, EDU, it's really quite frankly anyone that we talk to. Like we don't know what we don't know. And I think We've just been so excited to give away our intellectual property and copyright for free because YouTube is right there, and we keep just giving it away for free. So however we start doing these educational series, if we make our own webinars, our own presentations, I think there's an educational component that we got to think about. If it's a series of videos or, speaking engagements, something to educate and not make it not so much salesy, but make it more about educating.
Mhm.
And then you show different ways of educating the market on monetization. How do you monetize video? Well, option A, you monetize it by gaining 1,000 followers and 4,000 watch hours on YouTube. How likely are you going to do that in a 3-month period? Not likely. What turnkey solutions are out there? Turnkey solution A, IBM, B, Vimeo OTT, or C, Sembu. All of them are turnkey. Which one gives you the most turnkey advantages? I don't know, but the point is, we have to educate the market.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
the bottom line.
and so speak to them not only in layman terms, but in their language, in whatever their problems are, or
Exactly. Well, that's the one thing I like that Amanda said is that, you really just have to try to. And oh, I forgot to tell you one thing, and Amanda mentioned it yesterday. So I did a mystery shop on Vimeo OTT a couple months ago, and I filled out their form because I wanted to see what their sales process was like. And so a guy scheduled a call with me, literally not a Zoom, a real phone call. And so the phone call came in. I ended up speaking to the gentleman for 10 minutes, not that long. He goes, okay, great. Well, how's your calendar look on such and such time and date? I said, oh, yeah, that's open. So he onboarded me, pre-qualified me for 10 minutes. Then by the time he scheduled the call for the person who finally did the demo, they already closed the gap and already was able to make that demo all of my hot buttons.
Mhm.
Whereas what we've been trying to do is force this down their
Mhm.
throat to do a demo, and we don't know what we're trying to present because we don't even know what their problem is. So if we can find a way to do some sort of pre-qualifying step first,
Yeah.
like for example, TechBridge today, we met with TechBridge today, and they created their new page. We installed the code. So we met with Don and I forget her name, myself and Yash. So I think that's going to be a really clean, beautiful use case because it's going to have all the thumbnails. It's going to be a conference experience, an educational experience. And Don wants to put the Sembu banner on his website, which is also pretty cool. So I think by time we, get to say 30 days from now, we'll have our first conference EDU style
Yeah.
platform, which is TechBridge.
Cool.
And I think that's pretty
That's
cool.
I agree with everything that you're saying, and I think, that's key if the students do move forward with doing the sales decks for Sambu. Not only is there sales decks, but within those sales decks, there's different hot button points that we may want to have 5 slides ready to go, and how do we tailor it to those specific problems? So,
Exactly.
okay,
All
I
right. I
do
know you got
have
to
a three
go.
thirty,
All
and I
right.
gotta prep for it a little bit, but
All right.
good
Talk to
job
you
in
soon.
finding this lady. She's cool.
Yeah. And when can we sit down and have a second follow-up one-on-one on your contractor? I want to be able to talk to you about this.
Yeah, let's schedule something for tomorrow's a little packed for me, but
Yeah,
let's catch
definitely
up some
not.
dates for next week.
Yeah. You want
Okay,
those dates now, or you just want to send over a couple dates later after you're done or
let me
tomorrow morning?
let me prep. I'll text you a few dates. And then in addition, pre the seed round, there's a few things that I think I can help with, in addition to um, what we don't have core competencies for here at Opaque. So yeah,
I
I'll
got
send you
you.
some dates.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Talk soon.
All right, bye.
Bye.